Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. It is May 25th, 2022, and it's time of the week where I will make another video and keep you guys updated with new developments, anything new as far as the 2022 hurricane season. What you guys are seeing right now is basically the current, as of today, the current temperature chart. So what you guys are seeing is Pacific, Central America, very, very warm. Near Brazil, well, actually, the Brazilian coast, because Brazil is this country right here. Everything here, as you see, is very, very warm. About 86 to 86 to 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if this here would have been, let's say, where the 24 is and the 22, I mean, this will be very, very concerning because that is what is considered the main development region area. Now, it is very early in the season, so we could see all this actually, and that's what is expected. That is going to change to potentially, you will see 26 all the way over here, which again, that is the minimum sea surface temperatures that we need for tropical development. But as you can see, for the rest of which is worse because it's actually closer to land, closer to the United States, Gulf of Mexico, Central America, the Caribbean islands, it is already prime time for as far as sea surface temperature, which again is a bit alarming because usually the peak of the season is actually not usually, it is in September 15th. 12 to 15, that's the typical peak of the season. Now I wanted to do a little comparison with 2020. As you guys know, 2020 we had a record-breaking season for named storms. This is what 2020 looks like. So the chart is slightly different, but it shows you basically a good comparison because here you're looking at temperatures already in the 30 degrees Celsius to maybe 32 degrees Celsius. Here, you're having pink showing up here, which is in that ballpark, the 31 to 32 degrees Celsius already. Deep reds here, 2020. So I feel like this year so far, I believe the sea surface is actually warming up quicker than we saw in 2020 as of this time, because this chart was from May 25th of 2020 as well. So that's why many organizations that forecast storms are predicting a above average, potentially a hyperactive season. Now, National Hurricane Center, NOAA, came out yesterday and said their forecast, which they're estimating 14 named storms through 21 named storms, 6 to 10 hurricanes, 3 to 6 major hurricanes. Honestly, to me, that's just, it doesn't tell us much, honestly, because what we're basically, the average is 14. So you're telling me anywhere from 14 to 21. So in other words, anywhere from average, which the probabilities of having an average season are extremely low, almost non-existent. Now, of course, things can change, weather can change, but everything is looking like it is not going to change. So at this point, there's like very low probability that we're not going to see an average season. So predicting 14 to 20 to 21 is basically saying, hey, anything can happen at this point. So that's what yesterday's numbers from actually what you're seeing here from NOAA. That's what they're predicting. And that's in comparison or very similar to what everybody else said. Colorado State University, I mean, a bunch of other private organizations that forecast storms as well. Now, let's take a look at, this is a little bit of a different chart, but basically it's the same concept. You're starting to see the oranges and deeper yellows showing up, which means we're above, as you can see, zero, or the grayish color is normal, is on average. And then you see coolers over here, which is basically because we're in La Nina. And then this area is warming up. It has cooled off a little bit in the past week to 2 weeks, but nothing significant. And again, for the hurricane season, for the peak, where it's definitely going to change. Again, unless something major changes. So let's take a look at I wanted to show you also this chart. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit for you guys if you're watching this on a cell phone. What you're seeing here is for the past couple of weeks, we saw a little bit of a cooling, like I mentioned before, a cooling off of the main development region area, in general, as Atlantic in general. And that's why you saw that these dots were kind of coming up or closer to neutral conditions. Now they kind of flatlined in the past few days, and now they're starting to point down again, which is again an indication that that trend of cooling off is basically stopping, and we're going back on track to warming up as how it was here. You can see how back in March, steadily dropping, kind of flatline here around May 11th. It came up from the past couple of weeks, and now it's kind of like flatlining and then pointing downward, which means again it's warming up. Now let's take a look at a different chart here. So actually, let's take a look at the analysis. See, because I wanted to talk about some potential development in the Pacific. So let's take a look at the wide view here. Let me again do a little bit of a zoom in here. And as you can see, some convection firing up in the Gulf of Mexico, heading towards Florida, affecting Louisiana as we speak. Now, this convection that you're seeing here, it actually, when it was in Texas, it developed multiple tornadoes, as a matter of fact. So the fact that it's pushing further east, it's going to potentially bring some severe weather to other states like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. Hopefully nobody gets no tornadoes. I mean, this year it has been severe enough as far as the tornado season goes. Many tornadoes have formed. Unfortunately, many lives have been lost. So we don't need any more tornadoes. Convection down here, as you can see, this area that my cursor is right now is what the National Hurricane Center is watching, and I'll show you also where are they looking at, so you can see. Let me actually take a look at, and there were no activity expected for the Atlantic here, but for the Pacific, Eastern Pacific. So that's what they're showing, and this is as of 11 a.m. They're showing an 80% chance of formation within the next 5 days. Well, actually, hold on a second. Let me go back. Let me back off because it's showing the 5 day. So let's go back over here. Well, 40%. So 40% on the 2 day. There's another way over here, 20%. If I go back and let's keep on the 5 day, still at 20%, and then again 80%. That's what's happening with this one. So that's what's happening with that particular wave. It's showing signs of getting or becoming more. See, and that's what you're seeing here, becoming more organized. Right now, it's not that organized, but it's expected to become more organized. Some forecasting models are hinting that this may come up north, actually, and potentially make that crossing to the Bay of Campeche and the Gulf of Mexico. And that's what I'm going to show you next. So let me back off a little bit on this one. Now let's change the region so you see, well, actually North America. No, not North America. Hold on. Where is it? I zoom. Oh, North Atlantic. There you go. So you can kind of see it on this side. Now, if I move forward in time, so we're looking at 78 hours. You can, well, let me go back off. You can see how in then roughly about 66 hours, the GFS, which is the American model, has a low pressure here forming, which is again why the National Hurricane Center has an 80% chance within the next 5 days. So that's actually making sense. As we move forward, it strengthens it into a hurricane, kind of dissipates as it makes landfall, just brings a bunch of rain. And let's see, let's move forward. Okay, so it completely dissipates. So in the last run, it dissipated completely. potentially some leftover energy may cross over to the Gulf of Mexico. Let's see what the European model says. Now the European model, go forward, same thing, roughly about 93 hours. It shows a storm forming down here, and then it kind of just stalls there and it makes landfall in Mexico. And you can see that L now showing up here. So again, the European model is expecting this to actually cross over to the Gulf of Mexico. And from that point, it's in a sense fair game, because as you saw, sea surface temperatures are very, very warm. On a few videos that I made a few videos ago that I made and uploaded, I talked about how this area here, where this L is about right now, is what fueled Hurricane Katrina to basically become a massive hurricane in a matter of a few days. Because this pocket here in the Gulf is very, very warm and deep. So basically, that's fuel, jet fuel. That's the exact words that I used in the last video. That's what fuels the storms, and that's why the European model is having it. Unfortunately, going over there. So at this point, again, we're talking about 240 hours. That's too far out. Now let's see if any other models pick up the same storm. See, Canadian model, the CMC, showing the same thing. Now as a weak storm, again, too far out. We need to pay attention, basically, but nothing to worry about right now. Now the Navy model, really showing the storm, when is it? About 144 hours out, but it doesn't do anything with it. So it doesn't really give us a lot of information. As far as older models, let's see the Japanese model. Again, actually same thing. So you see 96 hours out. You guys see the L, 1005 millibar pressure. Move forward, makes the crossover to the Bay of Campeche. Now the Japanese model has it actually further south at Bay Campeche versus middle of the Gulf. So again, when you get consistency with all these different models saying the same thing, that hey, we're gonna get a crossover storm or potential storm or energy that is left, it becomes a storm once it hits open water again. Again, we need to pay attention, because doesn't mean it's gonna happen, but it's something that it deserves our attention because the models are in our agreement. But I mean, other than that, that's about it. I don't have anything else that I wanted to show you guys. Again, multiple maps that I have. Let's actually check one more thing here. Actually, let's take a look at this. I don't think I've shown this frequent, but you can see here the Saharan dust layer. It is very, very spread out, which if the layer is heavy enough, it could actually affect storms from forming, and if they're formed, potentially strengthening. So that's something that it may be a plus actually for that storm that the forecasting models are showing, making that crossover. But now let's see here, 80s, 83, high 70s. So again, it's very, very warm right now. Western Caribbean, 80s. So if that storms cross over, is gonna be finding water temperatures of 83 degrees at least. So that's actually a lot. That's plenty warm for a storm to spin up. But at this point, it's just a waiting game. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching again, for spending some time of your day to watch these videos. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Any questions, post them in the comment section below. Share the video with your family, with friends. This is how far we're going, or how far we have gone, I should say, as we get close to the beginning of the hurricane season in June 1st. And actually, one more thing before I let you guys go. One more thing I wanted to point out, at least for Florida, the Governor DeSantis already approved tax-free. I think it's over a week. It's about 10 days for hurricane supplies. I believe it's actually starting today, as a matter of fact, 25th, and it runs through first week of June. Now is the time to start getting ready to hurricane season. Again, we're only a few days away. But the problem, as you guys have noticed in the past couple of years, is supply shortages. So a lot of the supplies, first of all, they're more expensive than they were 2 years ago or even last year. But the big issue is supplies. A lot of times you can't find them. So right now, if you can start preparing, save a little bit of money with the tax-free weekend, or not weekend, but 10 days, and take advantage of those savings. So that's everything. Now I'll let you guys go. Once again, appreciate you guys watching this video. Take another thing, actually, I'm sorry. We have reached 400 subscribers. Super, super happy. I appreciate your support. Thank you for keep the channel growing. I'm without words, really. I never expected that we will reach this amount of subscribers. It's just, I created this YouTube channel just to upload my knowledge, my love for weather, for storms, hurricanes, and so far, it has grown to the point it has grown. And again, I'm really, really thankful for everybody. Thank you. Have a good day. Stay safe.